Most people think of trains as just a way to get from one place to another, but there are locomotives out there that break every expectation. Some are so huge and powerful they look like machines from another planet. Imagine a train weighing more than 660,000 pounds, pulling hundreds of freight cars across deserts, mountains, or frozen landscapes without ever slowing down or losing control. Have you ever wondered what the biggest locomotive in history was? Or which one was so heavy that the tracks had to be specially reinforced just to hold it? These giants are real, and they were built in times when the world needed extreme power, advanced engineering, and unmatched durability. Get ready to explore the most massive locomotives ever created. And stick around until the end because the last one on this list is so enormous and so old that it was already dominating the rails long before you were even born. The South African Railways Class 25, introduced in 1953, was one of the last great achievements of the steam era. Built by the North British Locomotive Company together with Henschel and Son, it was designed to survive the extreme heat and dry conditions of the Karoo Desert, an environment where most steam engines struggled. Its biggest advantage was its condensing system, which recycled steam back into water. This allowed the Class 25 to travel nearly 600 miles without refilling, an incredible range for a steam locomotive. This giant stretched about 112 feet long with its tender and weighed close to 460,000 pounds. The size came from the extra piping, condenser equipment, and the huge water and coal storage it needed. It even looked futuristic for its time, with a smooth, streamlined tender that resembled a passenger coach more than a typical steam car. With a 4/8 four-wheel setup and high-pressure steam power, it could pull heavy loads across long, empty stretches of land with surprising smoothness. The Class 25 served South Africa for decades, powering both freight and passenger routes. Some units were later rebuilt into Class 25 NC versions once water became more available. Today, a few still survive in museums and tourist operations. The sound of its pressure release, whistle, and gentle bursts of recycled steam made it unforgettable. And this is only the start. The next locomotive trades old-school steam for modern hybrid engineering that will shock even veteran rail fans. The Siemens Vectron dual-mode XXL, introduced in 2020, is reshaping modern rail transport in Europe. Built in Germany, this locomotive was created for maximum flexibility, able to operate on both electrified and non-electrified lines. Its hybrid system combines efficient electric power with a high-performance diesel engine, allowing it to handle long-distance freight without switching locomotives. At 92 feet long and around 270,000 pounds, its large size makes room for both complete propulsion systems. On one side is a powerful 16-cylinder diesel engine producing 3,200 horsepower. On the other side are the components needed to draw electricity from overhead wires. The locomotive automatically switches between diesel and electric mode, and the transition is so smooth that the operator barely notices. Inside, the cab is fully digital, featuring real-time data, automated controls, and regenerative braking that sends power back into the grid. The Vectron dual-mode XXL also stands out visually with its modern design, LED lighting, and aerodynamic shape. In diesel mode it produces a deep rumble, while in electric mode it runs almost silently, perfect for urban areas. It currently operates in countries like Germany, Austria, Sweden, and Hungary, mainly for long-haul freight. Its flexibility and efficiency have made it popular with logistics companies, and it's already become a favorite among model train builders who replicate it with impressive detail. The GE AC 6000 CW, introduced in 1995, was General Electric's answer to the growing demand for more power and durability in American railroads. For a time, it was the most powerful diesel-electric locomotive in regular service anywhere in the world. At 75 feet long and about 432,000 pounds, this massive machine was built to haul extremely heavy freight, especially coal and/or trains across long distances in the US and Canada. Its name says everything: AC for its AC traction system and 6000 for its huge 6,000 horsepower output. That power came from a custom-built 16-cylinder engine that displaced over 7,000 liters, driving electric motors strong enough to pull more than 100 loaded rail cars. The locomotive's force was so intense that some railroads even had to reinforce their tracks during early testing. The engine GE7HDL16 was created specifically for the AC6000CW and helped push AC traction technology into the industry standard it is today. Visually, the AC6000CW looked tough and intimidating, with bold paint schemes and a strong, boxy shape. At full power, it sounded like rolling thunder. Railroads like Union Pacific and CSX were major operators of this model. However, the locomotive didn't stay in production for long because its high maintenance needs and fuel costs made it difficult to justify compared to newer, more efficient engines. Even so, several units are still running today on heavy-duty routes or preserved for display. Rail fans even gave it the nickname, the land barge, thanks to its size and stability. The Allegheny H8 was one of the most powerful steam locomotives ever built, created to take on the steep Appalachian grades for the Chesapeake and Ohio Railway. Built in 1941 by Lima Locomotive Works, this giant stretched about 125 feet long and weighed more than 1 million pounds when fully loaded. It used an articulated 2-6-6-6 wheel arrangement, giving it 2 sets of 6 driving wheels that provided massive traction while still allowing the locomotive to handle tight mountain curves. The heart of the H8 was its huge boiler, which ran at extremely high pressure and produced an incredible 7,500 horsepower, enough force to haul long coal trains up steep hills without needing additional helper engines, something very rare for its time. It could pull as many as 160 loaded freight cars even on difficult inclines. Beyond its power, the Allegheny was unforgettable to see and hear. Its loud whistle echoing through the mountains, the clouds of steam rising into the sky, and the deep pounding of its wheels made it a true spectacle on the rails. But the steam era was fading fast, and by the 1950s diesel-electric locomotives replaced these giants. Most H8s were retired early, and today only 2 remain. One of them stands at the Henry Ford Museum in Michigan, where visitors still stop in awe at the incredible size and engineering of this legendary machine. The China DF11G is a diesel-electric locomotive built for long-distance passenger travel, especially in areas without full electrification. Introduced in 2004 by the Kishuian Locomotive Works, it uses 2 permanently connected units that together stretch 144 feet long and weigh more than 268,000 pounds. Each section carries its own V16 diesel engine, giving the locomotive a combined output of over 6,400 horsepower. The DF11G was designed to pull heavy passenger trains smoothly and reliably across China's huge railway network. Its long frame helps spread out the weight for better traction and stability, which is important at high speeds, and this locomotive is fast. It can comfortably exceed 100 miles per hour, making it one of the fastest diesel passenger locomotives ever built. On the outside, the DF11G has a sharp, aerodynamic shape with a pointed nose and dual headlights. Its powerful engines create a deep, rolling sound that fans recognize instantly. Over the years, it has become a popular sight along China's major long-distance routes. Today, the DF11G still operates on key lines connecting cities like Beijing, Shanghai, Guangzhou, and Harbin. Even with modern high-speed trains dominating much of the network, this locomotive remains essential in regions where electric service isn't complete. Its strong performance and reliability also influenced newer diesel models across the country, setting a new standard for long-haul passenger locomotives. The Union Pacific Challenger 3985 is one of the most famous steam locomotives ever built. Constructed in 1943 by the American Locomotive Company, it was designed to handle the tough demands of World War II. Union Pacific needed a machine that could haul heavy freight over the Rocky Mountains quickly, and the 3985 delivered exactly that. This articulated giant used 4 cylinders across 2 connected engine frames, giving it impressive flexibility on curves. Its massive 6,290 cubic inch engine produced around 5,000 horsepower, letting it reach speeds above 110 km per hour even with long freight trains behind it, through a fully manual system of valves and controls, requiring skill and precision to keep everything running smoothly. With reinforced suspension and a 4-6-6 four-wheel arrangement, the locomotive kept its weight balanced on steep grades and tight mountain passes. At nearly 270 tons, the Challenger 3985 was a moving fortress of steel. Its white steam clouds made it a legend wherever it traveled. Originally built for freight service, the 3985 gained a second life in the 1980s when Union Pacific restored it for excursion use. It returned to the rail strength, pulling passenger specials at impressive speeds and even completing a run of more than 1,000 kilometers, an unforgettable moment for rail fans. And while the Challenger 3985 was already a masterpiece of size and power, Union Pacific would soon take its ambitions even further, leading to the creation of something even larger. Introduced in 2000 by Bombardier Transportation, the IORE is one of the strongest and most reliable locomotives in service today. Built specifically for the harsh climate of Northern Europe, it operates on the Malmbanan and iron-ore line between Kiruna, Sweden, and Narvik, Norway, an environment where heavy snow, ice, and freezing temperatures are part of everyday life. The IORE is made up of two permanently connected units, giving it a total length of 154 feet and a combined weight of roughly 794,000 pounds. This massive structure is designed for maximum traction and stability on steep, icy routes. Each unit has 6 powered axles, making 12 in total, which helps the locomotive grip the rails even in the toughest winter conditions. Together, its electric motors produce an impressive 10,800 horsepower, all powered by renewable hydroelectric energy, making the IORE both powerful and environmentally friendly. With its bold red paint, rugged shape, and bright LED lights, the IORE stands out dramatically against the snowy landscapes of Scandinavia. Its quiet electric hum mixed with the sound of steel on ice creates a unique presence on the rails. Over its lifetime, a single IORE unit can travel more than 2.5 million miles, about the same as circling the Earth 100 times without major problems. And when it works at full capacity, it can haul up to 8,000 metric tons of iron ore in one trip, playing a vital role in the region's mining industry. The locomotive's name comes directly from iron ore, but the IORE has become famous worldwide for its toughness, efficiency, and ability to thrive in extreme cold. And if you think electric locomotives are dull, watching an IORE glide through the silent, snow-covered forests of Lapland might change your mind. Introduced in 1939, the PRR S1, better known as the Big Engine, was one of the boldest and most unconventional steam locomotives ever to run in the United States. Built by the Pennsylvania Railroad, it aimed to combine speed, power, and futuristic design into one giant machine. And while it succeeded in many ways, it also pushed the limits a bit too far. The S1 was enormous. At 140 feet long and weighing more than 575,000 pounds, it became the longest and heaviest passenger steam locomotive ever built in America. But that massive size came with a downside. The locomotive was so long and rigid that it couldn't handle tight curves on most PRR tracks. It excelled on long, straight routes but struggled anywhere the rails twisted or turned. Inside, the engineering was just as extreme. Its boiler operated at incredibly high pressure, feeding power into a rare 6-4-6-wheel arrangement, one of the strangest configurations in steam history. With roughly 6,500 horsepower, the S1 could break the 100 miles per hour mark, placing it among the fastest steam locomotives of its era. What really set the S1 apart, though, was its appearance. It didn't look like a steam engine at all. Legendary industrial designer Raymond Loewy, known for the Coca-Cola bottle and the Greyhound Cinecruiser, gave the S1 a sleek, Art Deco shell. Smooth curves, flowing metal skirting, and elegant lines made it a star attraction at the 1939 New York World's Fair, where it was promoted as the locomotive of tomorrow. But tomorrow never came. Only a single S1 was ever built. Its massive frame made it impractical, hard to service, and unsuitable for most routes. By 1946, it was retired and later scrapped. Still, the big engine never disappeared from memory. Today, the PRR S1 is a legend among rail fans and model builders. Its futuristic style influenced later streamliners, collectible toy trains, and even modern locomotive aesthetics. It may not have been a practical machine, but as a design icon, it remains unforgettable. When it came to giant engineering experiments, the Soviet Union often aimed higher and pushed harder than anyone else. In 1934, that bold mindset produced the AA-20-1, one of the most extreme steam locomotives ever built. Its purpose wasn't just to move freight. It was designed to be the biggest, longest, and most impressive steam engine in the world, even if practicality had to be sacrificed along the way. And massive it was. The AA-20-1 measured about 135 feet long and weighed roughly 550,000 pounds. But its most unbelievable feature was its wheel arrangement, a 4-14-4 setup. That meant 20 driving wheels, the most ever fitted to a steam locomotive. Engineers hoped that spreading the weight across so many axles would reduce track stress and boost pulling power for heavy freight. Its boiler, operating at extremely high pressure, fed a system capable of producing around 4,200 horsepower. The locomotive wasn't the most powerful on paper, but the complexity and sheer ambition behind it were unmatched. The truth, however, soon became clear. The AA-20-1 was a mechanical giant that the rail system simply couldn't handle. It struggled with curves, required special track conditions, and was incredibly difficult to maintain. In real-world operation, it proved more trouble than it was worth. As a result, the project was abandoned, and only a single AA-20-1 was ever completed. That lone machine still exists today. It's preserved at the Russian Railway Museum in St. Petersburg, where visitors come from around the globe to experience its scale and unusual design. Though it never became a practical locomotive, the AA-20-1 lives on as a symbol of Soviet ambition, a legendary example of what happens when engineering reaches for the extreme. In 1969, as the Union Pacific Railroad celebrated its 100th anniversary, the company marked the milestone not with a ceremony but with a machine. A massive, record-breaking machine. That machine was the EMD DDA-40X, better known as the Centennial, the most powerful diesel-electric locomotive ever put into service. Built by General Motors' Electromotive division, the Centennial was a giant in every sense. It stretched 98 feet long, weighed around 600,000 pounds, and carried not one but two V16 diesel engines under its hood. Each engine produced 3,300 horsepower, giving the locomotive a combined output of 6,600 horsepower, more than enough to replace two standard locomotives on heavy freight runs. With 8 powered axles and tremendous tractive effort, it could haul more than 150 loaded freight cars across the rugged landscapes of the American West. The design wasn't just about brute strength. The Centennial offered improved efficiency, fewer maintenance demands compared to running multiple engines, and better long-distance performance. Its dual-cab arrangement provided more space and comfort for crews, along with upgraded instruments that were advanced for their time. And the sound of two giant engines rumbling in unison gave it a presence you could feel in your chest before the locomotive even came into view. Union Pacific purchased 47 Centennials, and while most were retired by the 1980s due to their complexity and high operating costs, several survived into preservation. Today, they stand as iconic reminders of a bold era in American railroading, when bigger really did mean better. We've arrived at the undisputed champion of steam power. The Union Pacific Big Boy isn't just famous, it's legendary. Built by the American Locomotive Company between 1941 and 1944, this massive machine wasn't designed just to haul freight. It was engineered to dominate the Rocky Mountains, push the limits of steam technology, and become one of the greatest locomotives ever created. At 132 feet long and weighing more than 1.2 million pounds with its tender, the big boy was a true giant of the rails. Union Pacific needed a locomotive that could climb the steep grades of Sherman Hill without using extra engines, and the big boy was their answer. Its boiler operated under extreme pressure, producing around 6,300 horsepower. Its 4-8-8-4 articulated wheel setup of 2 sets of 8 driving wheels supported by leading and trailing trucks gave it surprising agility for its enormous size, allowing it to navigate curves while still delivering unmatched power. Despite its weight, this beast could move. The big boy reached speeds over 80 miles per hour, an incredible feat for a steam locomotive hauling heavy tonnage over mountain passes. During the 1940s and 50s, it became the backbone of Union Pacific's long-distance freight service. Only 25 big boys were ever built, numbered 4,000 through 4024. The name Big Boy came from a simple moment a worker chalked the words on the side of the first unit, and the nickname stuck for life. Today, it's one of the most recognizable names in railroading history. The highlight of its story came in 2019, when Union Pacific brought Big Boy number 4014 back to life after decades of inactivity. Now fully restored, it's the largest operational steam locomotive in the world. Every time it goes on tour, massive crowds gather to witness its thunderous power, swirling steam clouds, and unmistakable whistle echoing across the landscape. Built in 1946, the British steam locomotive 34028 Eddystone is one of the standout members of the West Country Class Southern Railway's lightweight express engines designed for fast passenger service across southern England. Named after the famous Eddystone Lighthouse, it carried the same spirit of reliability through some of the busiest and most scenic rail routes in the UK. The Eddystone was engineered for speed and efficiency. Its 3-cylinder setup and 250 psi boiler produced around 2,300 horsepower, giving it a top speed of about 145 km per hour, impressive for a post-war steam engine. Power was delivered to 6 driving wheels, and a coil spring suspension system helped it glide smoothly through the sharp curves and rolling countryside typical of Britain's rail lines. Unlike the bulky American giants, the Eddystone was sleek, compact, and aerodynamic, sporting smooth casing and elegant paint that immediately set it apart. In service, it mainly operated express routes between Bournemouth and London, proving both reliable and quick. Even as diesel locomotives took over in the 1950s and 60s, the Eddystone remained in operation until the final days of steam on British rail. Today, 34028 Eddystone is one of the few surviving engines of its class. Carefully restored, it now runs on heritage railways, giving passengers a chance to relive the golden age of steam. During restoration, workers even found old 1950s newspapers stuffed inside the cab, original insulation forgotten for decades. Elegant, agile, and rich with history, the Eddystone shows that a locomotive doesn't need massive size to leave a lasting legacy.